Hi everyone, I just want to give you a quick update on a question I've gotten a couple of times recently around employees in other member states, employees of the Irish entity in other member states. So the legislation says expenditure incurred by the company in the carrying on by it of research and development activities in a relevant member state, being expenditure which is allowable for the purposes of tax in the state as a deduction in computing income from a trade, is qualifying R&D expenditure. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means on first reading you'd think, yes, I can include any employees in any EU jurisdiction in my R&D tax credit claim. But we go on into the legislation and it'll say expenditure incurred by the company which is resident in the state shall not be expenditure on research and development if it may otherwise be allowed or relieved in relation to the company for the purposes of tax in a territory other than the state. So what does that mean? So what that means is if you have an Irish company and that Irish company is operating in multiple jurisdictions, has employees in multiple member states, you can only claim those employees in an R&D tax credit claim if you can't take their salaries as a deduction in calculating your corporation tax in those other member states. So if you are operating a legal entity in the other member states and those employees sit under that legal entity, be it a branch or subsidiary, their salaries can't be included in an R&D tax credit claim. If, however, you are an Irish entity employing those staff directly through no intermediary or agency or other type of employment structures, are direct employees of the Irish entity, you're responsible for their payroll, the payroll taxes, you're their legally registered employer, you're not operating a branch in that country, then you can include those employees in an R&D tax credit claim. But it's only in those circumstances. 95% of companies operate a branch structure or do have corporation tax filing obligations in other EU jurisdictions where they have employees. So it's a rare occurrence, but it does happen. So it can qualify. It's something to keep in mind. Thanks for listening to the video. If you have any questions or you'd like to discuss anything you've heard here, please contact me. My contact information is shown on screen at the moment, and I'd be delighted to have a conversation with you to get the ball rolling on an R&D tax credit claim.